Two experts in ICF. Decades of experience. One podcast. Two hosts with a lot to say.
Look, I cannot sit through a struggle. I gotta get up and hustle. I gotta push through the pain, cause really that's how you build muscle.
Welcome to the Build With ICF Podcast with your hosts, Trevor Brown and Heather Herring Brown. Yep, they're a package deal. With over 20 years of ICF installation experience, Trevor can throw down some expertise on sales, marketing, and training. On the other side of the table sits Heather, aka the girl boss, and she's earned the title as the owner of an award-winning ICF construction company, a drafting and design company specializing in ICF. And the numbers? With a master's in accounting, she does that too. Sleeves up, boots on. This is the Build With ICF Podcast.
I don't want nothing for free. I'm here to work. Been through the dirt. I've been through the dirt. Yeah.
Well, happy New Year's Eve.
Yes, it is the last day of 2025.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. It's so crazy. This year went by so fast.
It's wild. I know. We're like, we need to get a year in review done for the end of the year.
I know.
This was the last day we could possibly do an end of year review.
I guess we could review it in the new year, but it wouldn't be near as fun.
It's not as
Not as
official.
cool.
It's not as official.
No, it's just been crazy.
Fun episode. I think this is just a big thank you episode. We did one last year this time, and it was just a fun episode. Got a lot of good feedback from it, and just kind of going over just a recap of everything that we did this year, and just amazing. Every year, I know we said it last year, but this year got even bigger and more listeners and more downloads and more countries and just craziness of, we went over 100 countries that we've been downloaded in now. It's just think we did this, thinking who wants to listen to an ICF podcast? There's four of us. There's going to be 6 listeners total with our parents.
I just thought we would know all the people that were listening to it. I honestly did not think that it was going to grow the way that it has. I guess I'm excited about it. I guess obviously we thought that there was a reason for it, that there was a call for it, but I think it's just grown. I did not expect to be downloaded in so many countries. That's just insane.
I thought the niche aspect of it was obviously there, and people would, because we're ICF nerds and we talk to other ICF nerds, and we know there's a lot of Facebook pages with a lot of different ICF people, and it's crazy. If you really look at it though, I was talking with Robert Klob about it not too long ago, and he's got over 30,000 people in different Facebook groups and stuff. So I guess when you really look at it, doesn't surprise me, but it's just, I guess we're just humbled by the amount of people and things that have just looking at it. Analytics at the end of the year is just kind of crazy. Like I said, over 100 countries. Just looking at I'm sitting here looking at them now, but the top 10, obviously the United States, Canada, the UK, India in 4th, looking at total downloads. Yeah, India, Singapore in 5th, Australia, Germany, Ireland, Mexico, and Norway round out the top 10 downloaded countries for us. Just crazy, and it's just weird. Then if you go scroll to the bottom of the 100, and there's countries I've never even heard of. There's literally, I don't claim to be a expert on world geography, but yeah, crazy. Armenia, Argentina.
We've heard of those.
Algeria. Yeah, I've heard of these. I'm just scanning through, looking where we have downloads, multiple downloads in Papua New Guinea. Just kind of, it's crazy, man. ICF's going everywhere. This is great. Tunisia. I just think that everyone just needs to kind of take that under consideration when you're looking at ICF. It's obviously doing its thing, and this is just a kind of a pulse a little bit of what it's doing. But top episodes, looking through those.
Oh, let me guess. Your fire rant.
Where did the rant come in at? No, my rant did not make it for the year. I think as it was later in the year. Our number one downloads was episode 49, which was listener questions, DIY cost savings, which that makes sense because we do have a lot of DIY listeners becoming an installer. and more. That was our number one, and that was back in May. Cool project updates. That was the second place one. Third place was shout out to our friend Beth Popniklov. She was number 3.
Oh,
her
wow.
episode
Nice.
with Venvio. That was an awesome episode. They're super cool. They've got a great podcast. Their own podcast is one of my favorites. Fourth was when we had Andy Lennox on from Logic's Element ICF talking about the new ICF block. I figured that'd be pretty big just because they, coming out with something new like that.
Yeah.
I know when you look at some of the that didn't make the top 5, but right outside the top 5 was actually one we just did with Mike Cleary with the new block. So I think that gets a lot of people listening. I think a lot of people want to hear about the new stuff that's going on out there. So we're definitely hearing what you're saying, and we're going to get more of that on here for sure.
Yeah, I think we get the most, and you can't see it from these analytics here, but listener engagement, we get a lot of listener engagement from the rants and the Q&A, which we did not do as much Q&A this year as we had hoped. That's a spot
we
where
need to definitely
improve
get back on that. We did not hit that quite as hard as we wanted to on that, but
But this year's been a busy year for us. This normally we have some downtime in this time of year in the fall, and we haven't got it yet. It's been
good. I guess that's why there's so many people listening to ICF podcast. Obviously, ICF business is booming, and we are in that business, so therefore we don't have as much time to do the podcast. But we're trying. I promise.
We did average more than one a month.
Yeah,
this
will be 20 for the month. So for the year. So this will be number 20 for the year. We basically started, our first episode was 39 of the year, and then this is 59. So we'll be there. Kind of just an interesting. This is stupid stuff, but I was blown away. Looking at because all this stuff is available, the analytics stuff, but trying to figure out what the most downloaded, what everyone uses to download the podcast.
Oh, the platform. Yeah.
Because you got to see the platforms, right? What they are, but I always assume that iTunes is always number 1, or maybe Spotify.
Or Spotify.
It was actually Google Chrome. So Google Music, Google Chrome Music. We had the most downloads. That was for the year, and followed pretty closely by Apple and Spotify, and then Podbean, which is where we host the podcast on. So if you're, if
and
you
that's
click
linked
through,
that's the Podbean is linked on our. That's on our website and on the ICF Builder magazine. So.
So it gets a lot through those websites. There are some. That's kind of where the links are. But then, kind of scroll down. There's some I've never even heard of some of these things that we've had, and maybe I'm just ignorant to which platforms there are. But Edge, I've never heard of them. But we had quite a few downloads there. Podcast Addict, Overcast, Pocket Casts, Antenna Pod.
Wow.
Yeah.
But this is not a podcast about all of that, so we don't really.
Sorry, I was just looking through this. I'm like, really? I've never even.
He's nerding out on this stuff.
Yeah,
so
kind of crazy. There's too much information available for sure.
There is, but this year's been a very cool year with the podcast. One of the exciting things that I think maybe because it is our second year doing the podcast is the number of shout outs that we're getting on the Facebook groups. Mm-hmm. When new people are coming in and they're like, hey, check out the Build With ICF podcast. It used to be just you and I, kind of putting that out there. And now it's really cool to see our listeners and a lot of them are our customers or have turned into our customers. They started out as listeners, turned into our customers. And it's been really fun to get to see that growth and work with those people that are coming through from the podcast.
Yeah, and keep doing it. I mean, that's honestly how we grow this thing and get out the information, more stuff to people is through everybody organically just putting it out. If you see somebody asking a question on a Facebook page or, you're talking to somebody because you're interested in ICF and they're like, oh, I don't really know much about that. You tell them, hey, there's a podcast. You can listen to it. It'd be kind of cool if you want to listen to that. Yeah. And so I think that's, like I said, there's no better compliment than when someone forwards it on to somebody else and says, hey, you should listen to this podcast. It makes us feel like what we're doing is worth it. It's, don't get me wrong, I just like to sit here and talk if no one listened, but there is a reward to it. And, I've been lucky enough to talk to a lot of our listeners this year. And, I've told them in person, and I'll continue to tell you guys that, you know, it means the world to me when you guys thank us for doing the podcast and putting this out there. And even some of our guests and stuff, when they, you know, they say, hey, you know, thanks, this is pretty cool. You know, it's when we get that kind of recognition where people actually appreciate it. That's what makes me all warm and fuzzy and feel like we're doing the right thing. And it makes me want to just keep doing it. It makes me want to do it harder and get more information out there. And, you know, that's obviously what we believe in. We're ICF, you know, fans and promoters and, you know, advocates and you know, what ambassadors, all the different words you want to call us. We just want to promote the industry and try to help people feel comfortable with it and have a better experience with it. I mean, there's a lot of different aspects of it, but
well, it's the main goal, or the main reason that we started it, was to educate people about building with ICF.
yeah.
I mean, I remember when I got the URL, the Build with ICF, you know, when I took over the distributorship years ago, and I'm like, what is my website going to be? Because I can't sell these off of my building website or my drafting website, but what can I do? And I'm like, well, let's just see. So I was just searching and Build with ICF. It just all worked. And, you know, here came the podcast years later. And, you know, just the whole focus of educating people. And, you know, our goal is to, you know, convert as many people that are building with firewood to building with ICF as we can. And our listeners are a big help in that by sharing the podcast.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, it's something that's able to, it's a very concise way to get this information out to people, like be able to send a link, send a URL, you know, send anything out to people saying, here, go check this out. So we, again, appreciate it. Going back, so we kind of wanted to just do a quick once over. We used our, you know, as I think we've mentioned on here, we're becoming ChatGPT nerds too.
Yes.
As well as ICF nerds. We use ChatGPT a lot. It was super cool. Another thing that just kind of makes you feel big-headed is when you can put your podcast into a search engine and it comes out with all this information. You're like, wow, there's like real stuff out there about me and about us, you know, and about the podcast. So we were able to, you know, we put in ChatGPT, hey, give us a rundown of all of our episodes and kind of a highlight, because we just wanted a short highlight of everything just for people to kind of hear and give a little shout out to everybody that put these things together for us. But we started with episode 39, and that was one that we're going to be coming out with here in the next month, which will be, we got the 2026 version of this, which was our trade show strategy and event prep for World of Concrete and Builder Show and all these other shows that are coming up. So we're going to be into trade show season here pretty quick, and so we always like to do an episode about that and kind of give tips of, you know, how, you know, what we do and how we use the app and different things like that. So that was just kind of
and the cool things that you can see and you know, really why you should go from very, I guess, different aspects. You know, why we go as you know, distributors, builders, designers, and also why you should go as a DIYer or, you know, a homeowner.
Just to learn. So we're all about information and knowledge and stuff like that. So episode 40 was right after that in January. We did Quad Lock with Scott Carpenter. That was great. Again, loved going into, you know, educating people on different brands and different types of ICF and their, you know, and giving those people the idea that they can actually do a, you know, they can say why they, you know, why them, you know, I mean, they know better than anybody. I mean, I'm a pretty well-rounded expert on ICF, but it's nothing compared to like having somebody come in from a brand and actually talk about their brand and stuff. So and then one of my favorites was the next one, which was the heated discussion. It was a rant because there was some stuff that was going on in the groups and the chats and stuff, and it was the first time that we had, you know, done that type of an episode where just you get on the microphone and you rant about something that's just, well, it was pretty
on your mind.
It was very, it was very, again, to use the word organic, but it was, we were sitting here complaining and I was going off and you're like, you should get on the microphone and talk about this.
I'm
so
like, we don't really have time to do this right now, but we need to do this right now.
We got to do it. Yeah. So no, that was good. And you know, like I said, I'm passionate about this stuff. I've got some other rants coming up. I think we've had some recent, you know, kind of issues with different people and,
Just things that have come up that were like, you know what, that's
no,
not okay.
It's not correct.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
not, there's just so much there. It's, I hate to use the buzzword misinformation because it's been overused here in the last few years, but it's definitely, there's just some misinformation out there that is complete BS. And so that's what gets me fired up sometimes. So yeah, that was a good episode. I don't like building houses out of firewood. I've been too close to too many people that have, and had to help people rebuild after situations that could have been avoided. And so I'm a little bit passionate about that. So yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
42 listener questions. That's another listener question one.
Yeah, and then we did the World of Concrete recap, which, we're going to talk a little bit about those upcoming shows. So I'm sure we'll do that again.
Yeah, Monolith was fun. That was episode 44. We did had Ben on and talked about Monolith, and I've actually got to go since then. They invited me down to their plant, and I actually got to get my hands on some block and I didn't personally make one, but they made one for me while I was standing there, but got to watch the process and learn about polyurethane ICF. And I think that's just something that's another cool new product out there that's, and especially in a world of fire that we're dealing with and fire safety and stuff, that seems to be a very, very hot topic.
Yeah.
No pun intended. So Monolith was a great episode for 44. They got to talk about it. We're actually going to probably schedule. They asked to get back on again and kind of give us an update and a little more, in depth.
If I remember correctly, they were just launching. It was kind of limited at the time. I know that we're working on a set of plans right now for a Monolith client, I believe in Oklahoma. So.
Yeah, it's definitely they've taken off, and they're out there, and this was a little bit they were just getting off the ground when they came on here back in February. So that'll be fun. We'll get those guys back on again to chat, and
that'll be great. And then we had the commercial contractor. I forgot about this, David Groen.
Yeah.
That was such a good episode, and hearing about commercial, because I think ICF is, I wonder what the stats are, commercial compared to residential.
I've heard them. I go back and forth on. I mean, it's hard to. I mean, because you talk about like just well, if you're just tracking square footage of wall, like, I mean, commercial just dominates because there's just such bigger projects. But as far as individual projects, it's just hard to. They're two different monsters. But yeah, great episode with Dave, and to be able to talk to him about that stuff. I mean, we've had in the past, our buddy Randy Daniels on with Fox Block talking about. He does a ton of that's his specialty too. And it's just fun to talk to a contractor, especially from back east, that is in a totally different market, totally different things. That's getting to do this in a different way than we do it, because we don't do commercial. And
I've got to do a couple of designs for commercial with ICF, but not built it myself. So that's super cool. And then we had the IBS and the Superform dealer conference recap. So that one, just kind of talking about the cool things that they do. And Superform, one of the things that I absolutely love that they do for their dealers, for their distributors, is that dealer conference, and bringing them all in and doing the plant tour and bringing in educators. And just, it's so cool. And it's so, it's nice to get everybody together and talk about what's working for the different the different distributors in their markets, and how we can all, how they all support each other, and just a super cool thing that they do.
It's just, it's impressive. And I think that, some of the other brands do it and stuff too. We've been lucky enough to be invited to come and speak at the events. We were invited again this year. Unfortunately, we have other engagements that we have to be at for our.
So we're sending our substitutes, our
but
mini-me's.
We do, yeah. They're getting Gavin and Whitney, our juniors.
Yep.
So the kids are going to go and represent the Build With ICF podcast, and Build With ICF and the innovative drafting and design there at the dealer conference. So we will be there in spirit. They'll be there in person for us, manning the booth and speaking to people. They've also got some amazing speakers this year. I've got to see some of their speakers and actually kind of vouched for Tim, because
we know Tim. I brought him out for our state meetings, and
great speaker, great, just amazing, cool guy, fun. So it's pretty cool that they're doing that. So,
Oh, I forgot we had the Berman and Clerico fasteners.
Which, by the way, made the top 5. That was one of our top downloaded ones. So everyone wanting to know about accessories. So, which I agree, that's a huge part of it. Like, I mean, I think one of the validating things about ICF is seeing all the accessories that are happening around ICF. Because if, back when we started, nobody made anything for ICF. You had to do everything yourself, and you had ICF blocks, and then everything else you had to make. Yep, you just made it work. Now to see that there's these specialized companies coming out with all these different accessories and stuff, and it was great having these guys on because they literally were able to speak right to all the different accessories they do. I mean, they've got a whole business wrapped around just providing ICF accessories to people. So super, super cool. Great episode.
Yep. And then I know you were really excited to do the next episode, which ended up being one of our top episodes, the marketing for ICF with Beth.
Yeah. I'm a fangirl.
Yeah.
I'm a fangirl, Beth. I've been listening to Beth and Zach for a long time on their building materials, Smarter Building Materials podcast. And I mean, just they kind of inspire. I mean, they really did inspire me on this podcast because even when I found their podcast, I'm like, is there really enough people that want to listen to a podcast about selling building materials? And then I just started getting into it. I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, and I started listening. And next thing you know, I'm talking to other people at trade shows, and I'm like, hey, you should listen to this podcast. And they're like, oh yeah, we already listened to it. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is already a thing. And so really cool to see them, and their company Venvio is a specialized marketing company in building materials sales. And so, like, again, niche, deep into a vein of marketing and knowing something. And when you talk to Beth and you listen to her, she's very well versed on how to sell building materials. It's not just a marketing company. It's like, well, let's run this and do this. This is what we did for, a restaurant that we did, or this is what we did for somebody that sells clothing. It's like, no, this is very descriptive about how to sell building materials. So any of our listeners that are listening, that are our distributors, and selling the product as well out there, great podcast to listen to, and go look up Beth and check out episode 48 that she did with us. That was really, really awesome. 49 was another listener question, DIY. Anything we get DIY insights on, it's like, it's very well listened to and downloaded because it's funny. This is the hot topic. I know there's some of you guys already out there listening right now, and their skin's crawling because I get guys that call me, they're my buddies, and they're like, hey, dude, I wish you would not talk about the DIY stuff so much. It needs to be professionals. And we have to agree to disagree because we are a very DIY driven, industry, and done well and done correctly. It can be a really, really good thing for all of us. And so I do agree that you need to have knowledge and information and training, and you need to know what you're doing and be careful with what you're doing. But it's good for us to bring that in. I think that's part of what this podcast does, is kind of welcome in the DIY aspect of the business. And sneak peek to what I'm looking forward to for 26 is I definitely have a lot more consulting stuff lined up and things like that for, working with people that are building their own, but they're bringing in myself or a professional to help them with it so that they make sure they don't make any of those mistakes that DIYers make. So good episode.
Yeah. And then we talked about the cool project updates, which we also talked about. That was like, I think a lot of last year we talked, maybe almost every episode we talked about tariff stuff. It was a big topic. So much that, we've had to add stuff and notes on our estimates and different things that way with regards to tariffs, because it's just kind of, we weren't sure for a while. So, talked about that a little bit.
And I think this was in June, and we were really getting into the, MST rebar side of things, in which we've just got more and more and more into now, and just has become a everyday thing for us. And so that was kind of talking about some of our new projects that we were working on with full MST structural rebar, replacing all of the steel, like not just doing flat work or horizontal like people have done in the past with GFRP, and that difference between MST being a structural rebar that we can go vertical with. And so that was a real good, beginning episode of what we, kind of was foreshadowing. We didn't even realize how much of a big deal MST was going to be by the end of the year. I mean, it's crazy what they've done, and they've got a new plant that just opened in North Carolina. So U.S. made product. A lot of really cool things going on with them, and
we'll
make
be
sure to
talking
come out
about
and see
that.
them. Yeah, make sure to come out. We'll be in the booth at the World of Concrete with them as well. So we'll shout out when we're going to be there and what their booth numbers and all that is.
Okay. And then, episode 51. Yeah, so the cool project updates was episode 50. So, and then 51 was Josh Miller with the ICF guys, Highmark ICF.
Yeah, killing it on social media still. Just love watching it. That was fun. I mean, they were his stuff's funny. He just is doing a really good job of making it entertaining and stuff. So, love watching Josh. He's one of my favorite ICF guys out there, man. I mean, he's doing some cool stuff, and he just gets it. I mean, he understands what we're doing. Look forward to have him back on again too. He's just fun to chat with about stuff. So 52 was our Palisades Fire event recap. That's after again, passionate about this.
That was a listener that invited you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So Dennis, shout out to Dennis. He was our connection there. He listened to the podcast and reached out to us, asked us to come down there, and it was sad and inspirational all at the same time. It was sad to listen to some of these people that lost their homes. I mean, 7,000 structures lost to fire in that Palisades area, or in the fire in California there, and all could have been prevented. And it was just one of those things where I came back like even more fired up to like spread the word, because it shouldn't have happened. And it was probably the best example. And you just try to take good from bad, and the good from bad on that was, this was not in a forest in Montana. This was not, this was not out this was houses catching houses on fire. This was in Metro Southern California. This is when you build houses out of firewood and they get ignited, then they light the house next to them that's built out of firewood, and they just keep burning down. It has nothing to do with trimming your trees back or having a safe area around your house. You can burn it down if you've got the Pacific Coast Highway on one side and the Pacific Ocean on the other, and the whole area burned to the ground. So very passionate about that. I want to thank Dennis. He got us involved there. We're still involved there.
Yes.
It got us involved with Penna Construction and several engineers that we're working with down there now.
And several architects as well. Yeah.
Yep. And we're down, Jacob Schnibbe was down there with us with Superform, and they're getting really involved down there. It just basically brought a bunch of people into this, together with us, and other people that all got together with the, how do we help these people? How do we make this happen? So
it's going to be a long process, but we're in it for the long haul. Yeah.
What an eye opener though. And so that's what led to the next episode with Tony Penna and JJ, who didn't come on. It wasn't on the podcast, but JJ was with us down in Palisades, and Penna Construction. I mean, just such a great story of like 3 generations of family, in there working on doing ICF in California, and just so cool to like how I mean, that's their everything, man. They're into it, and doing big projects, really elaborate, really cool projects, down to really small, basic projects, just trying to help people get involved in ICF and help people build better in California. So it was a great episode. It was fun to talk with Tony, and we stay very close contact with JJ. I talked to him quite a bit, and on different things we're working on. And he's helping me, got me in contact with a insurance agent that we're going to try to have on the podcast as well. That is working on homeowners insurance and discounts and things like that for people building out of ICF. So California may be the first one to really do that. Like, we'll see.
It'll catch on. And then you had, I was not here for this one when you did the podcast with Tim from CCS, Concrete Construction Supply.
Again, kind of fun, because it was just like he was here, he was in town. We
don't get guests in
most
the
people
studio
know
often.
we live 2 hours away from any town of any size. We're 2 hours north of Boise, Idaho. So we live up in a mountain town, and about 3,000 people. And we don't get a ton of visitors or people that come through our town, but he was up here, and we got talking and just talking how well they're doing with ICF and getting involved with it. Anyway, it's a great episode.
Yep.
One of the best sales guys I know. And I mean, just,
it was a great episode
learn
for
so much
distributors.
People can learn so much from Tim on how to sell, and he just really does have it. So that was pretty fun.
And then this is one of my favorite ones because I've wanted to have Gary Fetters on our podcast for a while because of the Lego house that I saw in the ICF Builder magazine. When I first
Long
got
time ago,
started
yeah.
in ICF, like it was so exciting. I was like, I want to do something like that. That is so cool. So that was a super fun episode that we had him.
Yeah,
on.
and I mean, there's not
Commercial
there's not
and
a lot of
with-
guys. Yeah, there's not too many guys out there with more experience than the Fetter boys. Those guys are famous and infamous in the industry. They'll appreciate that, I think. But no, excited to have them back on again. We're definitely going to get them back in here because they've got so much more to share about their different projects and stuff that they've done. But it was a good story to hear kind of where they came from, because a lot of people have seen them out there and they see them as just the ICF guys, but it was fun to hear kind of how they got involved and their military background and different things, and just kind of randomly. I always think that the origin stories are kind of cool to hear.
They are.
How
They are.
people end up in this industry. So
Yep.
really cool.
And then your next rant.
Yeah, I think, and I'm probably, I mean, I get fired up about the fire thing, but this one really is, and I could do a whole nother episode on it, is, it's your choice to build with ICF. This is just from frustration of people, and this podcast kind of helped bring this frustration to light, just because people reach out, and I ask you to, so don't ever think you can't, reach out to me. It's fun to.
If you can't find an ICF distributor, an ICF installer, or what, if you need information on ICF, reach out to us, because we will put you
help.
in
Yeah,
connection with somebody near you.
And it's frustrating because I'm now getting enough calls of this and people reaching out that I'm just like, gee, and they're like, well, yeah, I really, really like it. I like your podcast. We listen and we really made the decision that we want to do this, but my general contractor just doesn't want to do it. Okay. Is your general contractor going to pay for your house to be rebuilt when it burns down? Is your general contractor paying your heating and cooling costs? No, they're not. And the fact that they're sitting here dictating what you're going to do with your house.
Yeah, trying to dictate.
It's just like, are they picking out your food for dinner, or what you're eating for dinner tonight and what clothes you're wearing tomorrow? Like, come on, it just gets me fired up, because we deal with so many different aspects, whether it be the design side and drawing plans for people, or the supply side, or the consulting side, or all these different things that we do.
Or the engineering, or the building officials, or anything that's a little bit new or out of the order. This isn't new, but if it's
but
new
it's kind of
them,
weird. I feel like recently we've had more resistance in the last year than we've had in the last 10 years. And I don't know what it is. Like, it's just, I think I do know what it is, and it's probably going to be my next rant podcast. And I apologize in advance to all of our engineer listeners, but engineers are getting so, and I'm going to defend them first when I say this. People are so litigious, and people are suing people. Everyone's so scared to get sued about something that people are protecting themselves, having to protect themselves way more. So what's happening is, in conversations that I've had with our own engineers that we work with, is they're like, you got to understand, we got in trouble doing this or this, or somebody tried to sue us on this or this. So we're just going to go way over the top to avoid that happening. And what happens is they're just, it's CYA. Go look it up. You know what that means, but you're covering something. But it's like you're out there putting stuff out to these, and really just, if you don't understand it, I'm just going to over-engineer it. And that's frustrating. We've actually directed listeners recently to new engineers. We are able to take, if you've got an engineer that's just not coming along with you, or doesn't want to learn, or doesn't want to do this. I had a engineer try to tell me that it was going to cost him $4,000 of his own money just to reteach himself ICF, which is total BS. Like, give me a break. So you're going to find these guys out there like this. And like I said, you're already getting a taste of my next rant, but you're going to find engineers that don't want to work with you and don't want to do this. And so guess what? We find a different engineer, and we give that engineer gets your money instead of the engineer that doesn't want to work with you, because you have the gold and you make the rules. So he who signs the check makes the rules. So that was definitely one that got me going, was the it's your choice deal. So feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, I say this all the time, and I mean it, and I know there's people out there who have reached out to me, and you guys know I'm not BSing you. I'm I'll take, I'm busy. I do get busy, and sometimes I don't answer my phone all the time, but I try to get back to you pretty quickly. But I am happy to talk with you guys. That's why I do this. This is why I'm out here. This is free consultation I do for some, to a point. So don't think that I'm going to bill you if you call me, but I do try to help out as much as I can. And don't worry, if I feel like we've gone over the free time, I will let you know that there's, you can hire me to do stuff if you need to, but feel free to reach out, man. I really do, whether that be through DMs or email or text or call, just feel free to get hold of me. I'm pretty much out there. You can get hold of me anytime.
Yep. And then we had, you talked about this already, but Mike Cleary, because he was one of our popular ones with the quantum panels. Mm-hmm. So that was a very interesting one. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, so, kind of fun that we're all of us listeners, everybody that heard it, we got to hear it pretty much, before it launches or as it's launching.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be fun to say, hey, I heard that guy on the podcast. He was talking about that. And now look at it. So I think it's a great concept, and it's going to be really fun to see where he goes with it. And it's been great, seeing Mike take this new quantum panel thing and take off with it. So that's pretty cool. And then our last episode, that most recent, we had Brandon and Nikki back on with Hulk waterproofing.
Yeah.
Just to give a 2.0 version of what's going on with Hulk. They've had just again, talk about another fun product. If you listen to the first episode, that was episode 13 with them, to episode 58 being their second one. Total change in how that business has grown and all the different things they got going on and stuff.
So many cool things.
Really fun. And if you're kind of a small business geek like me, where you like to hear, I like to watch Shark Tank and different things. I like to hear how people do small business. Really fun to hear their growth, and they're really taking off. And an exact, what I say about a lot of things. If it's a good product, it takes off.
Yeah.
And that's a good product. It's taken off, and we're using the crap out of it. We love it. Everybody we know loves it. So super fun for those guys, and shout out to them for coming on and getting us updated on all the cool new stuff. And they've got some new stuff that's going to be coming out that will be separate episodes, I think, that we teased a little bit on that episode, so that'll be good. So I just kind of wanted to talk about, I know you've had some really good wins this year that you would connect to the podcast.
100%. We've got to work with some super fun, super cool clients that we may or may not have gotten to work with because they found us through the podcast and reached out. And, we've done some conversions, we've done some customs, just, really, when you're working with somebody and designing their home, I feel like you just you really become, you're great friends. It's not just a business relationship. It's super fun. We love seeing the pictures of the projects come to life. And so we've been reaching out actually to some of our past clients as well, and getting those pictures of the houses being built. And it's just exciting to see somebody's, the vision of what they had for their home. Yes, we put it on paper. It's a 2D thing, 2D image. It's super cool to see pictures of it coming to life for them, and them moving into it and spending their first Christmases in their homes and all that kind of stuff.
Well, and just geographically, the places that you're getting to work in now, it's so cool. And you're like, oh, that one was in Oklahoma, and this one was in Florida, and this one was in Canada. And this
we've done a lot in the Carolinas this year. But a lot of my clients have been East Coast. So that's a little different for me, but it's super fun. Super fun.
Yeah. And it's, again, shout out to our listeners for spreading the word and reaching out to us and wanting to, utilize our services for that, because, that is means everything to us. And that's like I said, we're out there trying to make everything smoother. And what I say all the time, for anybody, professional or DIYer in the ICF industry, it starts with a good set of plans. Mm-hmm. And if you have a good set of plans that comes out to the right measurements, that then you're going to save yourself money and time. So back to the people that say, oh, it's not cheaper, it's this, it's that. Well, I can show you some ways that it will be, and you're not utilizing it. And
I guess that is probably another thing that, from the podcast, having the distributors who are doing the takeoffs for the blocks, having them reach out going, oh my gosh, your ICF stack page.
Great. Yeah.
Made bidding this job so easy. It lays out where the corners are. There's so many things. It's just kind of cool to get that, I guess that quick email from the distributors that we've got.
It's an idea that is come to fruition that is fun to
Yeah.
watch. That rubber hits the road kind of deal, and people are like, "Is an idea that came up years ago. If I could just draw plans that match the block, and we've said it, so it's good to see it all actually
and it's
happening.
coming even more. So we've got some exciting things coming at. We'll be launching it at World of Concrete. So
yeah, so keep an eye out. You're going to be hearing about innovative drafting design. Especially manufacturers, you're going to see us.
Yes.
You're going to be coming around. We got some gifts for you. We're going to be dropping off. But I would say for me, wins, literally getting to physically hands-on. I literally went and worked and consulted and stacked actual listeners' projects, which was just super cool. Like, I mean, the craziness of like doing a podcast I didn't think anyone would listen to being on job sites for multiple days, working side by side with listeners. It was just super cool, and we've got more booked for this year. More of it this year. It's exciting. That to me was the biggest win for me, was the fact that at least connected to the podcast anyways, was people reaching out and not only just saying, "Hey, we really like the podcast," or "Hey, thanks for the information," or "Hey, can you tell me this or this?" It's like, "Hey, can we hire you to come out and do this work with us?" And and even some that were close enough that we were able to even supply some of the jobs and not just consult and then utilize our guys to do some installs. And my son went out and did some consulting jobs this year, and I mean, just kind of like seeing the growth of that based around or driven by the podcast and the podcast listeners was super cool. So thank you to everybody that reached out and connected with us this year. Just some great projects. So cool to see people build really nice, successful, cool, clean projects. And again, some of the best projects I've seen this year, or some of the best projects I've seen came this year through some of these people. So everybody did a really cool job of, like I said, from reaching out just to say, "Hey," to, let's build something. So super cool.
Yep. And we've got some fun travel here. Business travel, but fun, coming up here pretty soon. We got, we have World of Concrete where, the ICF Builder Awards. So the drafting company, we were excited to, we got to be a gold sponsor this year for the ICF Builder Awards. So you'll see us there at that event. And if you want to check out, for those of you listening to the podcast, before what is Friday is the 2nd, January 2nd. Couple days away. You can still go vote for Viewer's Choice.
Mm-hmm. People's Choice.
People's Choice. Yeah, People's Choice for the ICF Builder Awards.
So ICFbuildermag.com, and you can go on there and vote and take a look at the projects and stuff that are coming
really
up.
Really cool projects and different things to look at so that you can vote. So that's going to be really exciting. We're excited for that.
Yeah, so we'll be there. Again, reach out to us if you'd like to meet up. We're going to be, I know I'm booked to be in the Superform booth for a while, MST booth. And then we'll be making the rounds on a few more booths. If you're listening now and you do want us to come by and maybe hang out for a little bit in your booth and chat with people, hit us up.
Yeah.
We'd love to do that. We just need to get it scheduled. We kind of had some people try. Last year was kind of last second, "Hey, can you guys come to the booth for a while and hang out?" Okay, well, we're kind of booked at this point. But reach out to us if you'd like us to come by and do that, and we'll do the promote. We'll kind of promote it out that we're going to be around, but we'll be there.
It's January 20th through the 22nd in Las Vegas. So Whitney is going with us. So we'll have Whitney, myself, and Trevor will be there making the rounds.
And then we'll have then we got Builder Show.
Well, even before that, you've got this Midwest Tool Expo thing that you are speaking at. What is that? Tell me about that.
It's a good question. I've never been. I'm excited to go.
I know you just got the invitation and you're listed.
I did. I just got booked for that here this fall. That's January 29th, 30th, 31st. I'm speaking on the 29th and 30th. But it's the Midwest Tool Expo. It is in I'm going to probably mess this up, and I'm really sorry about this. People in Shipshewana, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I think it's Shipshewana.
Okay.
I hope I'm saying that right.
Probably not, but it's okay.
Okay. Well, I do know we have some podcast listeners. That's are listening, and they can correct me on that.
Okay, please do.
I know there's a few of you that will be there because I've already talked with some of you about it. So super excited to go out there and speak a little bit on why people are making that shift to insulated concrete forms. So we're going to be doing a couple days there in Indiana. So excited to go see everybody out there. That'll be fun.
Yeah, and then all the Superform dealers that are going to go to Pincher Creek and do their dealer conference February, 5th and 6th, I think it is. So our mini-me's, Gavin Brown and Whitney Bonnet, will be there representing the drafting company and the Build With ICF podcast. So that's going to be exciting because we will be at IHBA, Idaho Home Building Association boards.
LegCon, our legislative convention where we go and meet with the governor and legislators and different people. So unfortunately, we enjoy it. Unfortunately, we're going to miss the dealer conference, but we do enjoy. That's a very, very important meeting for us to stand up and fight for our industry, our overall building industry,
our local,
in the side of the political side of things. So very important for us to do that so that we can keep our industry moving forward. So we're excited to do that as well.
Yeah. And then we've got in mid-February, we've got the Builder Show that's going to be in Orlando this year, not Vegas.
Yeah. Don't go to Vegas. You'll
miss
us.
it. Yeah, you'll miss it. But we'll be out in Orlando, and we are in the process of booking different spots, different booths to
we'll figure out where we're going to be there, but we'll post everything up too on our social medias as we get solidified where we're going to be in times and dates and booth numbers and all that good stuff. But we'll definitely be out there for that the whole week. And then
that's kind of what I have through February. That's the beginning of trade show season and stuff for us.
So we're working on a bunch of cool stuff. Like I said, 2026 is going to be 25 taught us that there's probably more business out there on the consulting side and the drafting side.
Yeah.
So I think that we're focused more on that for 26. So I think and we'll bring that story to the podcast too, because I just like being able to talk about some of these projects we do and stuff. I think that people get a lot of value out of that and hearing about different projects and things we're doing. So we'll be talking about that, and then we've got just a bunch of people coming on that we finally, we do.
Super
cool stuff.
We'll be and going back to Builder Show, we should be speaking in the Building Systems Council room.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at doing some other stuff there. I got involved with it's a resilient building project that is being put on by NAHB. It's a group of us from across the country, and they're looking at starting with resiliency in mind,
she doesn't get much more resilient than ICF. So
I know. So super cool. Just lots of good stuff this year.
Yeah.
In 2026, and maybe we'll take the podcast equipment with us to World of Concrete. I don't know that we'll pack it all the way to.
We'll see. We might come up with something. We got some ideas here. Maybe we can do something a little smaller instead of taking our whole gear like we did last time. Maybe we can come up with a way to do some record some stuff there. It would be nice. So we'll get some content going. And again, we say it every episode, but we mean it. Just keep sending us ideas and things that you want to hear about on the podcast.
Yeah. Thank you to our listeners that have ordered swag as well. And we have listeners that have won some because they tag us when they're wearing their, or when they're listening
to the podcast. Tag us on Instagram when they're listening. But we've got our My House is Stronger Than Your House swag, and you can go check it out on the website. We got our smart little piggy built with ICF, and so any of that kind of stuff that you're interested in, definitely hop on there and get some merch. But keep hitting us up for what what do you want to hear, people you want to have on the podcast, any suggestions you have if people want to be on. If you yourself wants to be on, please let's chat. Let's get you on there. We want to put out more episodes this year, so just keep bringing this information. It all is good promotional information for your products and ours, and getting more people knowledge about the ICF industry. So keep doing what you're doing at Build With ICF
on all the socials. info@buildwithicf for our email address.
Mm-hmm. And then the buildwithicf.com podcast
website.
There you go. So yeah, check us out there. If there's anything we can do for you guys, let us know. Obviously, that's what we're here. Thank you for a great 2025. Super cool that you guys all rolled down the road with us and helped grow this thing. And I can't wait to see where 2026 goes. So
yeah,
that's about it. So it literally is officially for the last few more hours here, 2025. So I guess we will talk to you guys in 2026.
Yeah.
Oh, we got cheers.
got cheers.
Okay.
Cheers.
Hopefully you can pick that up on the
with
microphone.
Coffee.
All right, guys. Thanks. Have a great New Year's Eve. Be safe. Have fun. And we will see you next year.
Yes.